Here we'll be using a Scunci plastic comb. You will also need elastic cord. I'm gonna have 2 pair of scissors, just regular cutting shears. Then we're gonna use needles. They can be round or straight. It's up to you, but you need the weaving thread in them. We're gonna also use togglers. They're actually stoppers with the spring. So the weaving net, you're gonna use a large piece of weaving net. You're gonna fold it in half, and then you're gonna fold it again. Keeping the square shape, and then fold it one last time. Then you're gonna cut a moon shape around with the shears. Taking your time, you can flip it and check and trim and cut off the edges into a moon shape. So the 4 pieces of the oval shapes, when you open the net, you will see that you're making sure you trimmed off all the edges for. Because when you open all the 4 pieces, they will be like, you know, in an oval shape. Just getting rid of some trash there. Table kind of small, want to have enough room. So I'm counting the nets. I was thinking I had 4, which I do, but I see they were kind of stuck together. And so you only want to use 2 and put the other 2 away for another project. So this way, you're gonna lie the 2 nets together. Like I said, you're gonna remove the other 2. Just making sure they're lining up there. And you want to get ready to put the cord. You want to place that cord from the top of the net down like an oval shape. You want to place it down from the top, half circle like, and bring it down. Leave yourself an inch to maybe 1.5 inches, even 2 inches if you like. This is for beginners. So then you want to lie the second net on top of that net, keeping everything straightened out. So actually it's already on there on the table. You want to get it underneath at the edges, leaving 1 inch hanging off the net. It's better to have at least 1 inch on each side coming down the elastic cord area, because you want to make sure that's gathered under in between the net. And this is where you can already have your needles pre-threaded, and you can gather some straight pins while you're getting everything all ready. So this way you can gather the cord and the net and keep them together. So I'm just going to use a straight pin and hold it in place. So as I weave through the straight pin and again through the cord, holding the cord in the place where I want it to be sewn together, then I'm going to use another needle, and again I have it about an inch on each side hanging off, so I can begin to stitch where the cord and the two nets are. So I'm going to go inside, and I'm going to hold that cord with my fingers and begin to sew with the needle. See that? I'm going right in around the cord, and I'm going to make sure I get that string with the knot on the end through the needle, pull, and then I'm going to do it again because I want to lock it in until I can do my 2-stitch, which really locks it well. So now I'm getting ready to do the 2-stitch after I straighten my thread out with the tip of the needle. So what the 2-stitch does is it's going to lock that cord in place, so it won't be trying to move as it does when you're doing a drawstring with your ponytail. So after that, keeping my cord in place, you can always use your straight pins and put them along the cord and the inside if you like, but if you're kind of crafty, just go ahead and get ready. Be careful now, but go ahead and fold over the netting. Focus on that area and don't go through the cord and wrap the thread. You know, you want to be able to leave the cord so that it can move. If you have any questions, just leave me a question in the comment section, or you can email me at learningwithimani@gmail.com. But again, I'm focusing on folding over the net, and I'm only going to sew along the net, not where the cord is. The cord is in between the net, but I'm going to fold that net 1/4 inch over, and I'm just going to sew in that area close to the cord because I want it to draw when I pull the drawstrings. So this is where I'm doing my 2 wind and wind around the needle, pulling it securely. I'm going to do it again, then I'm going to let you guys kind of take over and do it yourself until you finish, but look closely. There we go. It's just bent over a little bit. The cord is in between the 2 nets. And then I'm going to take the 2 nets at the tip and I'm going to bend it back over on the inside towards me, so that this way I can stitch and do the 1, 2, and pull threads around the needle. Okay, I pulled out my shears because I'm going to cut the edges that I completed the whole piece, which I'm going to cut off these. I'm going to pull this a little bit so you can see that the drawstring works. See? The drawstring works, but I'm going to bring it back down. That's why we folded it, and just continue to sew around. So I've already pre-cut my combs. I cut this one to 8 little humps, so the teeth go in here just like that, and I'm going to stitch those. And I have the one guess about 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put it on that side, and then I'm going to put it on this side. So when I draw them together, then they'll come together, and then I'll cut another one and stitch it for the bottom. But right now, I'm going to flip this, and I'm going to trim. But before we do that, let's actually look at the little stick pins that weren't sitting over here when I began to stitch down, and I used a needle to hold that. So instead, you would just normally use a straight pin and just pin it in there to hold it while you're stitching, and you just pin them all the way around. But we can get to that another time. So this is the hair that I'm going to use. It's 12 inches. It's already pre-wavy. It's nice. It's synthetic by Janet and Core. And it's actually called Janet, one of Janet collections. So I've cut open a pack because the actual net is kind of large. You can put plenty of hair on here. So this will be the hair once I begin to cut and stitch. Okay. Alright. So let's just put that out the way for now. And then we can begin to trim off the pieces. I figured I'd go ahead and do that while I'm videoing. And I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to hold the scissors correct. And I'm going to carefully just snip, cut with the scissors. And if you're cutting off a little trimming, it's that time of the year for a lot of little decorations and cutting things, decorating. So I'm just cutting along. And again, I'm actually going to pull this drawstring. Maybe it'll be easier for me to get to it, since I could just open it back up because it did such a good job. So this way, the edges are kind of sticking out for me a little bit better, and I can cut it a little better for you to see. Let's see together now. You want to make sure you're just going to have those rigid edges, so you're not cutting the string that you stitched. Whoop. Yeah, you're not going to cut the string that you stitched. You can always go back and do a little extra tacking, because again, the sewing machine, if it did this, if you have a sewing machine, then you're just going to straight right on and zip it on together. But everybody don't have a sewing machine. And I'm a pretty patient person when it comes to arts and crafts and creating, making hairstyles, put my vision to work and foresee what the turnout is going to be before I complete what I'm doing. So there we go. See that? So I'm going to go ahead and snip this so it won't confuse me. And there we go. It stuck out much better. Yeah. Okay. So doesn't have to be perfect, but if you come close to it, that's fine. So we're going to cut this off here. And that's why I had advertised on my first nervous videos that I wanted to know, what do you want to learn? Did you want to learn micro links? I can actually cook up some keratin, dip some loose hair, make our own hair extensions for micro links. Sounds interesting to me. Okay, so that part's done. And we're gonna move this out the way a little bit. Okay. And then we're gonna straighten this back out. And it easily straightens back out. So everything is ready. Looks pretty good to me. What you think? Leave a comment in the comment section below. So now I'm gonna get my thread and I'm gonna stitch on the loop, putting it under the drawstring. So this way I am just going underneath and I'm going to go through the loops. Is this tight? Nope. I thought I was anyway. So I'll just use this one. Yes. Alright. It's just another style little needle here. So what I'm going to do is find my... No, I think... Don't mind this. Did we have a knot? Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna go on the edge, pull, and then I'm gonna go again through the same one. Okay, let's see if you can see this. So I'm gonna wrap it this time. Then I'm gonna stop and get rid of that. Don't need no little visitors creating. Stick it out like it moved in, and that way we can really get in there. See that? Really get in there and lock that really good. Okay, so that's right at the top piece. Alright, let's flip this so you can see. Ooh, nice. Okay. At least the metal wouldn't scratch the scalp. This is plastic, so it's going to be a lot easier. And what I'm going to do is just stitch each little piece on the loop. Okay. So I'm going behind, underneath, and I'm going to come through. Nope. Yeah. Is that my second one? Well, yeah. Okay, here we go. Just give me a break here now. Nobody's perfect. Just want to make a easy wearing drawstring attachment piece for your hair, because it'll be a little bit bigger than a regular drawstring, which is good because I got it shaped. I think we have a nice ponytail, pineapple shape. Even though we're not gonna wear it like that, but if you chose to, it's perfectly fine. I can go back and show you on one of my mannequins that you're able to wear it as a pineapple on top, and you can wrap hair cloths around it, and you can have it nice and stacked up for evening out. Put on some nice outfits to go with your hair, and I think we're getting there. See that? Let's see, get over here to the camera. There it is. It's locked on here now. So I'm just going in like that, and I'm going to go through the hole, and I'm going to pull it before I actually, oops, that's nice. The teeth are grabbing something. There we go. Okay, let's get back on track here. Okay, so this is the way you hold it with your thumb, and then you're just gonna go inside, and then you're gonna wrap twice this time, so you can lock it. There we go. So again, you're gonna go inside, and you can wrap it twice this time. But there's a little grab of the string, so maybe you want to use shorter string. It won't be so tedious, because I don't mind going back and fixing. And I'm going to do one more lock on this side, right there. because I really can't wait to show you how you can make yourself some extension clips that if you had color, then you don't have to damage your hair getting some highlights. So what we're going to do is you're going to be able to find a little string you got to cut. Boom. There we go. So I'm going to pause the camera. I got to remember to try to stay over here. My eyes are on the project. Nice. Nice and tight. Okay. So I'm gonna lay this here so you can see, just like that. And now you can actually see it. It's coming together really nice. So once I finish putting these combs on, then I can begin putting the actual tracks. Okay? Alright. I am going to grab some needles, and so I just hold it, and I get to the second part. Wrap me a big old piece, tuck it under, pull, and done. Because I have to sew these tracks on by hand, but hopefully someone would want to see them sewed on a sewing machine instead of by hand. But again, you have people who cannot access a sewing machine. So I was one of those folks until I was able to get me a sewing machine, let it sit until I was ready to finally sew. And I began to sew and sew and sew wigs and hair pieces. Don't want to confuse that I was sewing outfits. I thought about what I was saying and I had to re-tie that knot. Boom. And one is good. And you always gotta ask that string, you can cut it. These scissors cut a lot better than those great big ones. But anything to get the job done. So I'm getting ready to just kind of measure out a piece of the track from the bottom and start here. And since I'm going to do that, I'm leaving at least ½ inch, about a ½ inch of the netting. So when it comes together, we'll have some way to put the, what do you call it? Toggle or the spring clip. It's actually a spring in it. So that's one piece. Just gonna continue to go around just like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use my straight pins. After I cut this, I'm gonna leave a little curve on it. Let's cut that. Not worry about the little pieces of hair. Can always go back and clean that up. And I'm going to put them in. I didn't want to put it on the track where I'm sewing, and I just want no more than 3. So it's holding the hair in place. But I'm going to cut me another track. So that's the major reason why you see me putting these pins, so it can help hold the hair in place. And you can always pull that out. And that's my little trash area over there. So it's synthetic. I see a little piece of material That's not their synthetic hair. So I'm gonna actually, yeah, I'm gonna go with the single, because I can double it once I get up in the middle. And we're gonna sew the track. I'll show you as soon as I cut this and pin it down with the straight pins. Yep. And we're gonna keep it close to each other. See that little hole in there? Good. Because you needed to have gather room. And here I am with my assorted straight pin. Little bun. Look like a little bun here. Okay. I want that to stay here. So my straight pins are just lying in there, holding the hair down. I'm not going to use them little teeny weeny straight pins. But here we go. Sorry about that. There we go. So you can see. I'm just going in and out, in and out. And here we go. And I'm so glad that we finally are to the point where we're adding some hair. But this is really nice. I had the little pieces I had sticking up like that and out like that because I want all the hair to go in like a little moon shape round onto the track. But right now, what I'm going to do, since we are right at the nape. See? Right at the nape. I'm gonna make a double track, and well, if you're with your needle and thread and following along, then what I'm gonna do is fold this over, whichever way is easiest for it to fold. I'm gonna fold it over, and I'm gonna put this track over top of that track, and I'm gonna lie it right there. So that's where I'm gonna go back. Pick it up, and I'm gonna cut it. Boom, right there. So this way, I can go ahead and sew it. So, again, that's also, there go that little string, the material from being tied off when it was created on the sewing machine, wherever it was created, most likely China. Okay, so I'm turning it toward me because I want to see how I would go down in there and try not to, well, I guess we could, because this is a beginner's class. So I'm gonna go ahead and stitch. I don't have to put the pins in. If you need pins, get yourself a pin, and as such, get yourself a pin, and you can pin into it, and that'll hold that in place for you. See that? Good. So what I'm going to do now is put my hand under here, and I'm going to hold that. Pick up my straight needle. The straight on the edge, it's very straight and sharp, be careful. And it's round on the edges, but like the moon shape we cut out earlier. There we go. So I just went in, and I'm going to wrap it twice this time. And if you get stuck, because I like to sew with strong, long thread. Boom. There we go. And if you see the little piece sticking out, just pull it on off and get rid of it early. That way you won't have a bunch of mess all over the place later on. You'll find that I'm very, very neat. It was good practice in the beginning, just like this is for beginners. It's best to do it in a habit-forming way than having a bunch of hair you stepping all over, you eating all in it, and And I'm skipping going about an inch over because we're going to sew this onto the track. And then I'm going actually back over this and I'm going to wrap it twice. And then I'm going to lock it. There you go. So when we go to put it on the track, I'm going underneath, go through by the pin, and this time I'm going to wrap it twice. Oops. 1, 2, okay. And lock it. Take the pin out, for me anyway. If you want to get stylish and put the pins in a certain way and hold on to what you got while you have it, that's fine too. So we're going to go underneath, and I'm going to use the piece in the back and pull, so that way it wouldn't get tangled, I thought, but it did. Let's see. There we go. Then we're going to go over another inch, pull it through, and you use your fingers. That's what you got these gorgeous long fingers for. And go under there, make sure, yes, because I'm trying to make sure you can see, and pull it, and it's locked. Go under and use the back part where you threaded the needle and pull, and do that again because it's a little loose. See that? That's why I like to just go under and then go back, go under again, then pull and lock, like that. So then go under, pull, and let's see if we got enough string. Yes, leave the needle a little bit there so you'll have that little short piece of thread, and then you thread and pull. Okay, so I still have string, so I'm just going to stick it straight on through here, and I'm going to add another needle, and I'm going to put my needle through the thread. At least I thought I was. There it is. Okay, so now I'm going to let that needle go for a second, and I'm going to tie the needle into the thread I just hooked. So then I'm going to cut that needle string off, and the other needle string will still be holding on, so leave it over. I don't want the knot to come loose. There you go. And I'm going to stick it in my little straight pin there so it's not in the way. Alright, looking pretty good here. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to tack the end. One, like I said, just do one, and then go back and tack and do 2. 1, 2. So I'm gonna kind of put this on the side, leave the needle there, so this way I can come back and put that after I go ahead and stitch this, because I was just showing you on layers how to actually keep building. But I'm going to go ahead and stitch across here, and I'm picking up any needle available. Okay, it doesn't really matter which type you're using, but I'm not going to start on the tip. I'm going to come back and finish that because it's easier to go right there. Let's hold this up so you can see. 1 second. Okay, here we go. I'm actually going to fold this over on my scissors and just come right here so we both can see. How about that? And then that's twice. And then you want to pull and pull and it's locked. See that? And you want to go under, and you want to pull, then you want to go back under, and you want to wrap twice, and that's tight. So then you want to go under, and you want to pull, then you want to go under, then you want to wrap twice, and you want to pull. So then you want to go, yep, looking good, looking good, looking good. Got plenty of room. If you got any gaps that you want to go back and fill another piece, that's fine. But you see, it does take a little more than a short video to do this. And who knows who you might wind up doing this for. Because people love custom. They love it. They love it, they love it. They love it. Love it. Okay. And that was 2. Then you want to take out a stick pin. Stick pin. There's another one. And I'm going to place it where it belongs, not just on the table. And that's really tight there. Okay. It's really tight. Okay. So I'm going to straight pin this one. And then, and you can do these as close as you would like with the stitches. You can do them as close as you like. Your perfection is up to you. And then I'm going to push that down a little bit. Push it down. And get this right here. I am looking at what I'm doing, so I can't really keep looking straight into the camera, but I do plan to stitch the second one on film while everybody's watching. I'm gonna put this needle away. Those I don't hanging out. So that's one on there. And I'm going to remove this pin and stitch this side right here. Oops, sorry. Stitch this side right here. See a little piece of hair I can pull off, but I'm not going to pull it off right now. I'll go back through it. 2, and then now I'm gonna lock. And then I go over to the edge while I'm going underneath. And then now I'm gonna lock. Let's make sure that's 2. 1, 2. Yes. Okay. And then I'm gonna cut. But I always like to make sure the needle is ready to be used again. Alright, there's this needle. So, tell you what, let's flip this hair out of the way. And you can always use clips to hold the hair. You know. We call them clips because there's so many different types of clips in hair world. So, clip is a clip, as long as they hold. But guess what? We have the comb. So what I'm going to do is put the comb there to hold it. And then I'm going to flip this so we can see the stitch that needs to go there. And go ahead. Let's use this one on this side. And stitch this on. Putting your hand under, right into it. And where you can start right there at the tip since it was available. It didn't look like it was going to give me no problem, so I'm going to bring this through again. And then now I'll do a double. I thought the thread was acting kind of funny, so I went through the block of the stitch. There we go. Now I'm going to show you how we can go really close. I'm getting ready to remove that straight pin. Two of them. One, this little green one, and the black one. So now I'm going to finish this one. So what I'm going to do is just show you at the end that I'm going to flip it this way at the tip and sew around. So this was the extra bundle, which I didn't need hardly none of it. I just used like maybe 1 or 2 strips so far. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure off another piece out of this bundle. So I can put it this way. It's like laying it backwards. So when you pull the drawstring, this will flip and it'll come backwards up into the drawstring ponytail. Okay? So I'm just going in and I'm going to lock down a corner. And the string was at the end. So that's why I'm just securing it right at the end of a cut track. And you can go back and check all your ends and do a double stitch on it, double lock. Would be great. Your customer, if you ever get a customer that want this, they supply the hair and you supply everything else, and it's up to you to charge the $13, $14 like they do in the store. But if it's custom made, then you charge according to how much work you're going to put in it, that the person know they're going to be able to keep it and keep it for years, especially if they take care of it. Like dip it a little in a bowl with warm water and cleanse it if you ever put any product on it, because you can't put product on it. So here's my last piece, and it was sitting right there, and I'm going to flip it and I'm going pin it down. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. See how I have it measured out. But if you ever running, this is a little tip. You can actually go ahead and stitch this before you begin, like this. Just bend it, and you wanna, well, I wanna use a different needle. It's good to use a piece of a sponge, cut it, and put your needles in. Somebody wanna leave a comment in the comment section and they want me to show them how to gather and put your needles inside of a sponge that's cut. That would make a lot of sense instead of trying to get all these items and costing you more money. And all you gotta do, go to the Dollar Tree, get you one of them big old cleaning sponges, cut it up, and use that to stick your needles in. So I'm going to go underneath on this edge. Again, it depends on where you start. But I'm going to try to go over some. And I'm on the net. Now that I took it through that one time, that's when I go to wrap it twice. But I'm going to back up and I'm going to go through that little piece right here. See that little hole? I'm going to stick this needle in there and I'm going to pull it all the way, holding it with my fingers. Then I'm going to go back and place it behind the string that's called the elastic. And then that's when I brought the needle. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to bring this needle behind this piece of elastic right here. Okay? So this way I'm going down and I'm going to go into that hole so I can lock secure this down. So there it is. And then lock, secure. I'm going in the hole again. And then now I'm going to do my double wrap on the edge. So this is completely lying toward that front. And my finger is now under the comb. Let's make sure. Yes. My finger is under the comb. There we go. There we go. So that's this, so that the comb is there. And then you can measure your comb across however far you want it to go. But I'm not a big fan of using combs and hairpins onto the scalp, because the scalp has to have comfort and moisture and breathe, and you don't want to build up with any kind of metal and items on the scalp, hairpins and such, because once you scrape the scalp, then it's just like skin. It's going to be abrased, and it can become irritated and start growing skin after skin on top of it, and next thing you know, you're scratching and itching and wondering what's going on. But you can avoid that if you're using the proper method of tying down the hair to put the actual drawstring or unit onto the head. It's a method that really works to secure that you are not scraping the scalp, because the scalp is very important to keep as healthy as possible. No matter whatever hairstyle you're wearing, you want to keep the scalp healthy. So I'm tying these strings together so I can tie off and cut what I don't want. Get close in here. And you can get tweezer scissors, and you can get the scissors from the pharmacy. You can get scissors from, I don't know about the scissors at the Dollar Tree, but I do know about the scissors at Walmart or office supply stores and things of that nature. See that little gap? It's not stitched down. So I'm gonna go under. I'm going under and bring it through. There we go. And now I'm gonna go under and I'm gonna twine. Tied it twice. Good. Then I pick it up and I'm trying to make sure you see me. Couple of more. And now everybody wants microwave, but when it's quality, it takes time to cook a good pot of soup. It takes time to build a nice unit. It takes time to create this design of a drawstring. A lot of people have their own ways of doing things, and this is my way of creating a drawstring. So now I'm at the tip. That's why I didn't want to leave you guys out when I finish up. I'm making sure it was lined up really nicely there. And I'm going to go under. I just find me a string. And I'm going to go ahead and wind it twice. And I'm going to use the strings that I see. I don't have to go deep or anything. Let's see. There we go. I got one in there. Got it in. 1, 2. Keeping the tip of the needle low so you'll be able to get what you want. Get the effect that you want. 1, 2. And pull it off that edge. There we go. And I'm going to just do it right on the top of the net. Let's see together. There we go. Okay, what I'll do is I'll show you how you can actually cut a little piece. Not your fingers. Make sure your fingers are balled up. You can pick that up later. But then I'm going to go back and I'm going to, good, that was nice and snug and tight. And pull this. And I pull it different directions. I want them edges locked. And there we go. So, now what I want to do is I want to flip this back and go under and find. See how nice. So, we're going to go and find these toggle. I'm going to get the toggle, but, you know, I'm going to get them together. They don't have to be perfect. But I'm going to pull this. I'm just pulling the strings to pull it together. So that way, when it flips, this is why I did that. So when it flips, there you go. So if you see any gaps, you want to go back and perfect. That's fine. But what I'm going to do is I am going to check. See how it lined up really nice? So when I pull the string, it gathers the ponytail as such. And so, let's check the split. See what we got. Good, good. All right. So, just working it. And flip. There we go. And I'm gonna pull. Oh, it's already pulled. There we go. Good, good. So when it goes down into the hair, that'll go down into the hair, and this'll stay up like that instead of being flat. See, that looks a lot better. Well, we got to get to that step, but that's the idea, is that you want to have this totally like that, because I got to really pull it a little more. We got plenty of hair on here. See, right at the top, all the way through. It's gorgeous. Look at that. Wow, that looks like a half a wig almost. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I left this without anything because I wanted to see if we're gonna add another comb in here, because if we did, then it's cool, because all I have to do is kind of trim that off a little bit right here. But like I said, I want to really put the toggle on here. It's like a cord, spring cord that catches the piece together. So I just gathered both of them, and I'm going to stick them in here, because you can always cut and trim it off later. But this is the piece. So I'm going to open it that way. And I'm going to stick them in. That's one. Let's get one in there. There we go. Both of them went. As soon as I let go, it starts tightening up on me. And we can measure. But that's the idea of how to put the toggle on there. And so a spring cord. See, I'm on the edge of the blondes. See, I'm on the edge of the sweatpants. Pull. So here we are. Here we are. Good. Okay. So it'll be up to you if you wanted to add more of the combs on the bottom, but again, I am strictly into comfort and no whole bunch of scraping of the scalp. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and look at this and say, well, that's kind of long. Let me use my larger shear, and I'm going to tie off what I want like this. I'm going an inch from the toggle. Okay, because it gives it room to open. And I'm just going to do one good strong knot. Good. And there you go. And there we go. I'm going to actually pull it all the way close, as if it's on the head. And like I said, you can put the cam out pretty nice. So the next little, put that clip, you want to be able to have the hair fall around the face and the head as such. Let's go over there. They charge good money for something. This is really full.